Hello everyone, welcome back to Baldur's Gate 3 5th edition. First of all, thank you ever so much for Jaibun in the comments who let me know that this exists. Dispel, disguise self. We can now just have Wyll being Wyll again.
Blade at the ready.
Also, while we're here, let's get our second familiar going, just so that we've got the whole family. And then let's think about what we want to do next. I think the closest thing that we can go and do between the four of us is probably go and deal with the owlbear. That's kind of close to these parts, isn't it? Like over the bridge and down the gravel. Yeah, let's go see the owlbear, see what they make of Eldritch Blast, because I'm sure they're not going to have a good time of it.
Can't slow down.
What we don't have is any kind of beast speech or animal friendliness or any of that kind of strategy for dealing with this problem. It's probably just going to be a fight, as unfortunate as that might be. But I need the experience points. That's the long and short of it.
Owlbear tracks. Its nest must be nearby.
And we have our little religious diversion as well.
Don't waste a step.
Right. Do we want to short rest for 8 hit points? I don't think so. I think we'll be alright with the whole gang present. Do we want to do anything particular with... We'll probably cast some bigger spells here. It's a bigger fight. We deserve it. The other thing we really need to figure out first then is, do we both want to approach from the same side or do we want to split up? Because I think being split up is going to give us an easier chance for the owlbear to be distracted in at least one direction.
Dead owlbear prey, no doubt.
Why do all these people know what dead owlbear prey smells like? I guess it just smells like any generic dead creature. But I haven't smelled a dead thing in...
Every step counts.
At university, we had to dissect some maggots, and the maggots were growing on dead horse liver. I think that's probably the last time I had to smell part of a rotting corpse. Which is not a pleasant smell, I'll tell you that much.
Need to find a way forward.
I'm going to skip over the gilded chest for now. We'll come back and do that after the fight, I think. What with Wyll
Looks like there's a little shrine over there.
hanging out over on the other side. And the last of everybody stealthing. Now there are some stalactites above. I've never had any success in getting those to crush our foes, mostly because I'm not sure how to get them to stand exactly where I want to without just being engaged in a fight with them. It'd be interesting if we could, like, throw some food or something at them, but not going to be something we'll likely achieve. If we reapply Hex, if we do it on Dex, then they will have disadvantage on their dexterity check for initiative, or at least they should, because initiative is a dexterity check, which is what Hex impacts. And they were slower. Let's sync up with Grace over here. And get Hex over here going on strength. We do that because if they try to shove us or the like, then we won't have disadvantage on that check where they will, which is nice. And we'll see if we can get the gang involved. Let's go invisible. That got them in the fight, I suppose. That's one way. Okay, we're all in. Will's up first. We have Hex applied. And so to reapply Hex, as we've just done, is not the casting of a spell as a bonus action. The casting happens when you initially spend the spell slot. Reapplying it is just an effect of the spell that's already in place. So, with Hex on them, I think Scorching Ray for 3 times beams at 2d6 plus 1d6 necrotic is going to be a great chance for us. We need to get a little bit closer. And that is a good chunk of damage. So we hit on a 16 and we crit on a 20. I think we must have missed one of them. So a miss, a hit, a crit, and then our 2 hex rolls, one of them with double d6s because of the crit. You double all the dice in the attack. Nothing to do for a bonus action here, so I'm just going to move up as high as I can and put a little bit of height and distance between the 2 of us. Owlbear's up. They were surprised, so they did not do anything. And Grace was not in the initial round of action because initiative was rolled without her to begin with, which is fine. These guys are not going to close the gap in this turn. This guy might. And we attack as an unseen attacker, so we get to attack with advantage.
The blade will not bend.
Then it's back to Wyll. If we're going to short rest after this fight, we should certainly spend all of our spell slots, because we get back all of them on the fresh short rest. Not nearly as strong that time. The owlbear is raging out. They are an unhappy creature. They killed one of the familiars and then jumped out over towards Grace, and so Grace's options here: Tasha's Hideous Laughter, Dissonant Whispers. I think 4d6 and Frightening is a great plan.
Torment.
They make the save, so they only take 6 damage, which is half, and are not frightened. But we can offhand melee attack, and if this hits, which is unlikely to, but if we can, then it will proc Hex as well. Yeah, so 1 damage off of the knife and 4 off of Hex. Then it's the baby's turn. They're going to try and get towards Wyll and do a bad job of it. Little Babby is frightened of us. That's absolutely fine by me. Now we need to try and get a line of sight for Eldritch Blast with Wyll. Is that going to do it? Absolutely is.
The cub looks from you to his dead mother. A single strike will end his suffering.
I mean, if the owlbear was eating people, the baby owlbear is going to grow into an adult owlbear and then kill people. So it cannot live. Wyll says, it was for the best. The cub would have only died anyway. So we took no damage there, I think, which is excellent. We did lose one of our familiars, but that's the cost of a fight. No rewards for us there, but if we pull the party together, we can get ourselves an owlbear egg. That's going to be worth some coin.
An owlbear egg. These are supposed to be worth a fortune.
The Oakfather's Embrace, but we are not proficient with medium armor as warlocks, so that's going to be no good for us. We'll take a pork loin if we have the weight capacity to spare, which it seems we do. And with that fight resolved, we can now go and check out all this magical gubbins down here.
Breathe deep and move.
At the very least, I can see some potions and the like, which we certainly will take.
A likely place for a shrine.
Right, well, we know that there is more to this.
Defender of the people.
I'm going to have Wyll cast Guidance on Grace. I don't know if that's going to impact her passive checks or not, but we're going to wander back here and find out.
That's curious.
So that was a roll of a 9 on a d20 plus 2 plus 1, which must be either our stat in that check or proficiency plus guidance, I think. But we will take the prayer.
Just an old prayer.
And then hopping on back. Standing near this box, but not trying to open it, we'll pull that prayer back out. This implies that we have read it aloud in
Chest's
game.
unlocked. My prayers are answered.
And now we have the handcrafted pendant. When the wearer hears 50% hit points or less, they don't provoke opportunity attacks. A silver necklace, an idol of saloon, and an onyx stone. Now, are both of these characters wearing necklaces? Grace is not. Wyll is wearing the one that gives the guidance cantrip, but there is something for Grace to hold on to. Let's get the whole party together, and that's pretty much everything here all done. I think there's one last backpack up on these stones that we can go and grab, and I believe there's health potions in there, if not just some bits and pieces. Yeah, that's what we want. Enough supplies for a long rest. Speaking of resting, let's take that short rest. So that heals us and populates our spell slots as warlocks, which is lovely. I'm going to try and be better about remembering to do this. I'm sure one of those two creatures is better than the other, but rather than just having two the same, I'm going to try and keep it as varied between the two mystic creatures as I can. Of course, if we really want to, we can do a raven or a frog or a cat down the line if we should need to. I don't think we have anything that creates dex checks. Arms of Hadar is a strength check. Those are attack rolls. So I know the frog has its kind of toxic skin poison thing that gives disadvantage on dex checks. Really good when you've got a cleric with flames of something. The cantrip that does 1d8 radiant damage. Sacred Flame? Sacred Flame, that's the one. And how about we find out
As ever.
what Wyll thinks of dogs?
Keeping pace.
Hey, puppy. Right, how are our skills? Oh, we got +5 in intimidation. And we will use guidance, only because I don't think a dog would know what's going on if we cast guidance. A human would be suspicious, a dog less so. And a natural one is an immediate failure. But we have inspiration, and we should use it or lose it. There you go. Poor pupper. Motion for him to follow.
He whines, but remains rooted by the corpse's side.
Well, have some lovely scent, boy. Well, I wondered if Wyll's folk hero past might benefit us there, but that's absolutely fine. And while we're here, if we hop across this river, if the game will let me, which it will eventually, we can hop over this side, and there is a
Keeping pace.
tiefling lady that we can have a conversation with. We might not resolve the result of that conversation, but we can certainly get this conversation started.
Hold up! One more step and I'll put a bolt through your eye! No sudden movements or you're dead. You looking for me?
I have no idea who you are.
You just happened to stumble across me in the arse end of nowhere. Bullshit. Tell me what you're doing here. Now.
Let's see. I just want to know what's going on.
All right. Maybe the blood loss is making me soft. But I'm going to trust you. For now, I'm in a tight spot. I might not be able to get out of it alone.
Maybe if you fill me in, we can help?
All right. Come on over here. But fair warning. You might find this hard to believe.
And we magically teleport across the river.
I'm a fugitive. I escaped the Hells, and the bastards who are holding me there are trying to take me back.
You were in hell. So were we not so long ago.
Really? You're serious?
As she winces, agony shoots through you, as if your bodies shared the same wound. Then you're lost in visions of demonic armies, as you tear through a landscape of fire and blood. The Blood Wall. You saw it from above as the Nautiloid passed through Avernus. This woman was on the front line.
Sturka! What was that? You were inside my head.
That was terrifying.
And that was one of my good days. The bad ones would knock you sick. Now tell me what you just did, before I make sure you can never do it again.
I didn't do that on purpose.
That's what I thought. There's something inside of you. I felt it. One of those God's damned worms from the ship. I didn't think anyone else had survived.
Oh, we're all over the place.
I boarded in Avernus. That ship was my way out.
You were expecting it?
No. I just saw a chance and I took it. That ship could have been heading for Sigil or Limbo for all I cared. Anything was better than staying. And I'll be going straight back if those imp fuckers catch me.
Why were you in hell in the first place?
I was a prisoner, forced to fight in the Blood War. The eternal battle between bad and worse. Most souls in Avernus are just meat for the grinder, but not me. I held my own. More than. Turns out that I've got a knack for killing demons. And I enjoy it. And that made me a valuable asset. Devils don't like to lose their assets.
Right, so how can we help?
A gang of cultists cornered me in an abandoned toll house not far from here. I took out a couple, but I need them all dead.
And what's in it for us?
You get a friend who spat in Baphomet's eye and lived to tell the tale.
I mean, that sounds pretty warlocky to me.
Make 'em scream.
And Will's on our
I come
side.
with you just to see them bleed. I'm too busy bleeding myself. I'll be here when you're done.
So she's only lost 4 hit points. I'm wondering if we throw a healing potion in her vicinity, if she would heal and get up and come join us for the fight, but maybe we'll see if we can do that next session. In any case, thank you ever so much for watching. If you're enjoying the series, please do consider subscribing or hitting that like button. If you have any questions or comments, you can put them down below. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.